This is a video where we're going to go through the tutorial for doing a 3D game in Godot. So we have the Godot engine here, and we've already downloaded right here. And we're going to go through the details of the tutorial, which getting started, 3D tutorial, and we'll have these sections that we're going to complete. So going to the beginning, this is going to be a 3D game where basically you can go through and jump on enemies. You'll learn to work with 3D coordinates with a jumping mechanic. Use kinematic bodies to move a 3D character and detect when they'll glide. Use 3D layers and a group to detect interactions between different entities. Code procedural gameplay by instancing monsters at regular game intervals. Design a movement animation and change in speed at runtime. Draw a user interface on a 3D game. So this tutorial is for beginners, which I am. So a little bit of background on me. I'm an experienced programmer. Um, if you're an experienced programmer, you can browse the complete demo source code here. Well, I'm an experienced programmer, but not experienced with Godot. But we can pop in and take a look at the code for this. Mhm. Has a main. It's kind of ready. Unhandled inputs. Mob timeout. On player hit. Mob, which I'm guessing is the enemies. We'll have an initialize and a squash. Player will have a signal that will receive for hitting. And it will emit signals. Okay, so let's dive in and see how it works. Let's try setting up the game area. The first part, we'll begin setting up the game area. We'll get started by importing the start assets and setting up the game scene. We've prepared a Godot project with the 3D models and sounds that we'll need, linked in the index page. If you haven't done yet, you can download it from here. All right. So we are just going to download this. Oops. So it comes with art and fonts, icon. Let's see what we have here. We have a mob and a player. Okay. So let's take this. I'm going to stick this in my projects directory. All right. So now, once you downloaded it, extract the zip on your thing and go to Project Manager and click the import button. All right. And we want to import, let's see, So in my project folders, I have a Godot directory, and we're just going to select the current folder, and we're going to import and edit. This was generated by Godot 3.0 and needs to be converted to 4.0. All right. Convert the full project. Let's just do it. Okay. All right, let's try it out. Oh, yeah, crashed Godot. All right, so we can see all the assets in here. All right. Browse on the right to open file browser and navigate to Project Godot. Oh, all right. Setting up the playable area. We're going to create a main scene with a plain node as a root. In the scene doc, add child node. A plain node as root. So add child node. Double click on node. All right. And we will call this one main. All right. Save the scene by pressing Command S or Control S. And we're going to save main. All right. We'll start by adding a floor that will prevent the characters from falling. To create static colliders like a floor, walls, or ceiling, you need to use static body 3D nodes. They require a collision 3D child nodes to define the collision area. With the main node selected, add a static 3D body node. All right. All right. And then a collision shape 3D. Rename the static body 3D to ground. Okay. All right. And then So that seems right. Collision shape 3D. Well, all right. A warning text next to collision shape 3D appears because we haven't defined its shape. Okay, that seems reasonable. Node configuration warning. A shape must be provided for a collision 3D function to function. Please create a shape resource for it. Okay. Um, to create a shape, select the collision shape 3D node, head to the inspector, and click on the empty field next to shape property. Create a new box shape 3D. All right. So we're going here, shape. There we go. Was it a new box shape 3D? Piece of cake. All right. The shape is perfect for box shape is perfect for flat ground and walls. Its thickness makes it reliable to block even fast-moving objects. Box wireframe appears in the viewport with 3 orange dots. You can click and drag these to edit the shape's extents interactively. You can also precisely set them. So click on the box 3D shape and set the size to 60. So there we go. 60 on the X, 2 for the Y, and 60 on the Z, or Z for us Americans. All right, that sounds good. Collision shapes are invisible. We need to add a visual floor that goes along with it. Select the ground node and add the Mesh 3D instance as a child. All right. Mesh 3D. Mesh instance 3D. There we go. In the inspector, click on the mesh and create a box mesh. All right. New box mesh. All right. And that's interesting. All right. So, and then we need to do the same 62, 62, 60. 62, 60. There we go. Now we got a nice, lovely white plane. So we're going to move the ground so that you can see the floor grid. Select ground. All right. Hold the control key to turn on grid snapping. And click and drag down the y-axis. It's the green arrow to move the gizmo. All right, so let's zoom out here a little bit. Control, Command. Nope. Control. How about we just all right, so why don't we just change it to the control. It's not really doing it. Let's see. We can just do the transform for it. Let's do -1. There we go. All right. Let's add a directional light so the sand isn't all gray. Select the main node, add child directional light 3D. All right. Cool. Need to move it up. So let's move it up some. And we'll give it a little tilt. Oh, let's tilt it this way. There we go. Let there be some light. In the inspector, turn on shadow enabled. Yeah, let's get some shadow in here. All right. At this point, your project should look like that, more or less. All right, next.